Give a little update and overview of the keg-fueled mongrel I got here. This tractor started life as an 1850 gasoline tractor. The rear end's all 1850. It's wearing the 1850 sheet metal. The front tub is a white 285. Most of the black parts are 285 except for the engine, which is out of a Massey Ferguson combine. That's a Perkins 6372. Same outside dimensions as a 354, but it's got a bigger bore. I got the 285 radiator and water pump up here. That bolted up okay. The pulley hubs off the 285. This is the airbox setup I got going on here. Bolts to the water pump. Made this bracket to bolt the airbox. And I got the 285 air elbow going on there. I had to chop it down for this setup. So I chopped it there, put this elbow on there from Summit Racing, cast aluminum 90. Going into 1850 diesel manifolds. Originally with the 285 manifolds, the exhaust came up about here, so I kind of used the gasoline fuel tank. But the heads are different, so the bolt pattern on these manifolds didn't bolt up. So I had to go out and buy an 1850 exhaust manifold that was really expensive. And I bought this intake manifold that's cheaper and used. This is a new one. I probably could have found a used one, but I was trying to put it together fast, so I bit the bullet and bought a new one. So I have the keg on there because originally the gas tank wouldn't fit over the diesel engine. So it's plumbed up to the bottom saddle tank here. It was originally bolted here. I moved it back, put spacers on here to clear the brakes. And then I got a line running from the bottom. I made these brackets in the back to bolt to the axle. You can kind of see those. But anyway, that vinyl line runs to the keg, which is non-vented, and the bottom tank's vented, so the top tank draws a vacuum and sucks fuel up this hose into the top. So it's the only indicating unit's in the keg. And then I know the bottom tank's empty because I'm watching this. When it goes clear, there's nothing in there because I popped the lid off. When that goes clear, then I know I'm only on the top tank, and then I have the gauge indicating how much fuel's left. Where was I? The oil filter is on the other side on this Massey Ferguson setup. So I moved it over with the white 285 housing. There wasn't an oil filter cooler on here, or an oil cooler, so I didn't bother putting one on. The over-under unit is from the 1850, bolted to the 285 clutch and flywheel. Still running the chain coupler back there. Power steering lines originally on the white, they'd run up and over the fuel tank, but I made these stainless steel lines that I run up to the steering gearbox, or the steering pump. That's the updated version. It's not the Signal or whatever that is, but changed it out because it blew up on me, started leaking out everywhere. But it steers nice with that pump on there, that's for sure. The white, the axle bolted up to the tub the same. I had to drill out these holes. These are actually not drilled. I just have 4 bolts, and these are just for show. Not that it's a show tractor to get used. It's my main hay tractor, but I like it because it's nice to drive. I can get on and off the steps on the fuel tank, and I got the battery box over here, which makes a nice step. The fuel pump, or the injection pump, I changed this housing out for the 285 unit because I got all my throttle linkages and shut off. Then I kind of dinked around with the spring and the flapper in there to get it to where it ran about the right RPM. It still bogs down at low RPMs, but when you're in high RPMs, it's pretty steady. What else can I talk about this? The valve cover. I think the 1850 diesel valve cover is a little different because it wouldn't allow me to bolt the intake on there without grinding down the sides. So I ground those down, so, well, that one didn't need to be. I ground those down so the manifold would bolt up. Then I took the side plate off the 285 engine, so I had the filter neck. Anyway, it runs pretty good. Maybe I'll start it up and go for a little quick romp without the sheet metal. Did I say the axle bolted up to this piece fine? The steering arms. This is white 285 screwed into, I think, a 285 steering. But anyway, I don't remember all that stuff too much. It leaks because the vent on the steering thing is just capped. I think originally that was vented to the return line, but I can't remember why I took that off. I think it was leaking there or something. I don't know, might fix that sometime, but not worried about it. Oh, nope. Hope I don't lose my bolts when I start this thing up. 285 tachometer, custom gauges. Actually, these are 285 gauges, but the water temp and the oil pressure are manual, analog, manual, mechanical, I mean. Needs a little fuel to start. Got a lot of holes in the hood. I might fix them sometime, but I'm not too worried about them. Can't really see them from the ground anyway. Everything's really soft and squishy. Not really anywhere a good place to drive it. Not that it's really interesting anyway, in circles. So yeah, that's the overview. Need to change the filters out. Need to find some filters. This is the Massey Ferguson fuel filter setup. I had the white 285 in here that had the clear glass bottoms, but that was stripped out. These things are really easy to strip out. These aluminum housings where the steel fittings go in. But anyway, still got the cable, the tachometer cable went in there, okay. Yeah, what else can I say, man? It's a nice little setup for me. I like it. It's fun. It's my own creation. These are food dogs from Japan. My sister's stationed there, and you know anything about Japan food dogs. One's smiling, one's not. But anyway. 9 minutes. Should I make it 10 minutes exactly? I can ramble on about it. Did we suck in fuel up? A little bit. If I undo the cap, you'll see it go down. It's hard to see on camera maybe, but saw little air bubbles. So I have these strapped down, and then I made these hoops to hold the keg. And I made this little bracket from the old teal tank, and this little bracket to the bottom there. Those are all the gas tank remains. And I got my sheet metal mounts. Yeah, I need an oil filter. I don't like running Fram, but that's what I had when I threw this together, so I need to go get oil filters and fuel filters and maybe change out this one. I don't know why I got a STP on there, but that's what I found that fit. I don't remember how I cross-referenced that one. But anyway, still got the 1850 oil cooler on the front. Runs oil cooler for the over-under and the hydraulic. Now the shut-off valve for quick shut-off, so I can take the fuel pump off without dumping all the keg out on the ground. Had to change that a couple times last year, but that was about the time the engine spun a main bearing. Anyway, that's a long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting or helpful. Take her easy.